Good morning again. And speaking of again, I did come back to the model table last night again. And I'm noticing my voice is sounding kind of funny today. I don't know if that means that I'm going to lose it before the end of the day, or am I coming down with something? Anyway, I'm feeling great. I don't know why my voice is sounding kind of frog in the throaty. Anyway, in order to have the rest of the morning, I guess you might say, make more sense, I think we should do our rollback, and then we'll just get right into the rest of this. Okay, I felt a little bit like working here this evening, so I came back to the model table and I did finish the second one, so we have two of these done now. And it looks pretty much like the first one, so we don't need to put it on the turntable and do that again. So now we got lots of little pieces that have to be sprayed. Because there's, we did a bunch more earlier and they're on the other side of the table in little tins. Anyway, about half an hour ago, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about the package that we got 24 hours ago. This thing here. And I was thinking, you don't suppose there was a note on the inside of that envelope? Well, there was. Anyway, it turns out I may not have phoned the right person last night. And yet the place I phoned, the address was the same, so I don't know. Maybe it was this gentleman's son that I phoned, and I'm hoping if it was, he passes on the message. Anyway, let's get on with what we were going to try and do this morning, and then I ran out of time. And that was regarding what I saw when I was looking up close at these little parts, these three little parts on the top. So let me just reposition here, and we'll talk about that. Okay. I think probably everybody thinks that what I want to talk about is the fact that, yes, I put on way too much glue. Well, yeah, I did. So Vic and a couple of others that were mentioning that just when I put just a little bit on, stopped. Okay, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to mention was that it's pretty hard to see it from where you are right now, but these little parts, especially this one here on the left, it's a little bit ragged on the top. There's a lot of little burrs and so on. And so I was going to just put the macro lens on and take some extra thin and see if I can carefully just paint off those burrs. Now the problem with doing that is you're diluting your extra thin, although mind you, this bottle is probably 80% gone anyway. So okay, let's recompose. Okay, we are concentrating on the one on the left, and I've repositioned it so that it more or less stays in the center of the rotation. Now you'll notice that when you get in close to it like this, you can see that on the top there's some kind of a little burr or something sticking out on the top, and the plastic from where it was nipped off is kind of, it's pretty rough looking when you get in close. Now, from arm's length, you don't see this at all. So what I want to do here is see if I just can't sort of paint that away with the extra thin here. Okay, I'm going to let the time lapse run to see what happens. Okay, I think probably most of our extra thin has evaporated. I realize it looks pretty shiny there on the top, but I'm not seeing any of that. Now, on the other hand, what the bad thing about doing this is if there was a lot of delicate detail close by, you're probably going to meld your detail into the whatever it's sitting on. But from what I can see, I think it looks better. Now, That's my opinion. Other people might think, well, no, you've taken, it's not look, the corners aren't as sharp as they once were. But I think, generally speaking, that looks better. Okay, we are done this gun here. Make 2. Now we're going to start this one right here. It says make 13. So I was wondering why it is that they've got Q9 and also in brackets F26. And then I realized, well, there's only 11 number 9s. So that must mean that there's a couple of these guns on the F sprue. But you know what? Right now it's almost 11 minutes after 9. And I think I'm going to call it quits for this evening. And we'll go at this again tomorrow. So we'll see you in the morning. Our pedestrian overpass seemed to be getting quite a bit of use this morning. Now, mind you, it is quite a bit milder. In fact, as I'm making this recording, it's only -7. No, only -7? Well, compared to the -31 we had a couple of days ago, yeah, that's a lot better. Anyway, you notice that the sun is rising more and more to the north now? Pretty soon it's going to be coming up on the left side of those posts. Okay, it is morning. And I've got our F sprues here. And the extra piece we need, F26, well, that's right here. And right here. And then, of course, we have the 11 F9s, or Q9s rather, here. So let's just go ahead and start getting some of these pieces here. So we need at least 13 of them. Okay, we may as well get this one first. And we want to be careful we don't accidentally cut off the positioning pin here. And okay. Now we got to get a couple off of the F sprue. Okay, these number 26s are somewhat easier to remove. Alright, now I'm noticing on this one here there's a little bit more, somewhat more flashing on it than, well, I can nip that off, I guess. I won't do it on camera, at least I won't try to do it right now. At first I thought that was like a little gun sight or something, but no, that's not what that is. That's flashing. That's not supposed to be there. Okay, we now need 13 D21s. And I'm noticing that they are detailed on one side here, so when we bend the tab and glue them onto these ones, got to make sure I get them the right, these bent the right way. Thinking out loud again. Okay, so we need 13 and it looks like we got 14. So we can screw up once. Okay, I'm wondering now, are we going to be able to find any good drawings that Carlo has done here of this gun that we're making? And okay, here's one. See if we can find something better. Yes, right here. All right, let's see if I can find these same pictures and the ones that I photographed, and possibly we'll be able to see exactly what, well, more or less exactly what this looked like. Okay, so there's those two. Yeah, well, that should be good. Now, I was later able to find more than just those two. And some of the drawings here, they're not necessarily of this gun, but the gun shows up in the drawings, and you can sort of see it in relationship to other things. Now, I was surprised to learn that these were 20-millimeter guns. When I was nipping off the pieces there, I didn't realize they were 20-millimeter. That's a pretty good, it's a pretty hefty gun. That thing would probably have quite a kick to it. Anyway, the drawings here are a little dark, and I'm not going to mention how they're printed that way, and I'm not going to say how Carlo and Stefan must have been really disappointed when they saw what that publishing house did with their drawings. I'm not going to say how there's an editor in that publishing house that needs a really good smack or anything like that. I don't want to get anybody upset with me. Anyway. Okay, as I mentioned earlier when we first started this episode, my voice is kind of acting up on me today. I know it's only 12:34 at the moment, but I'm probably going to be cutting today's episode off a little bit early. Not because of my voice, but because tomorrow's pizza day and I want to start working on the ingredients that I'm going to be making my pizza with tomorrow. And tomorrow will probably be my last pig out on pizza. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip the macro lens on here in a minute, and we'll probably move in on these first 3 right here. We need 13 altogether. And yeah, just let me get the macro lens on and we'll recompose. And it looks like they're going to be fairly easy to remove. There's just tabs on the sides. That's not rocket science. Now you'll notice that this surface right here is sort of a mirror finish, shiny, smooth, whereas this is sort of textured, and yet it's the same metal. As far as I know, that all that's happened is this used to be one sheet that may have been shiny, and somehow they've got it so that this surface here is textured, and it also has raised little bumps on it. Now this part that I'm touching right now is thinner, probably only half as thick as this right here. I don't think it's a case of this is built up. I think it's a case of that it was all once originally this thickness. Now, I don't know. It'll be interesting to know exactly how they did that. Anyway, let's do these ones first here. Try to get into your light. I'm sorry about that. Now, did I maybe go a little bit too close to the part there? I'm thinking maybe I did. I've got to try and find the edge. Okay, that sounded good. Yeah, that sounded good. Okay, now these ones might be easier, I don't know. Not really. It's hard to find the edge because it doesn't drop down. Now, if this part right here had been, thicker, then when I drag it across, it would have dropped down onto the tab. So I've got to. So it seems to me I have this problem with. Okay, I think I got it. See if it'll lift off of there. Not really. You know what? Did I forget to take the plastic off of this? No, it's off. Well, I got it that time. I got that one. Okay, these three should lift off now. It's kind of hooked on there. I didn't. Oh, I see what happened. Yeah, that's the one that I thought I possibly went and got too close to the part. So what I'm going to try to do now is just sort of clean that up like this. Alright, now at arm's length, in fact even finger length, you're not going to notice that. Now with the macro lens, and right now it's set to 8K, anybody watching this in 8K, you're going to be seeing the boo-boo right here on the edge. Yeah. Anyway, let's move along here. Now, first of all, just for perspective here, okay? Just for perspective. Remember earlier I was talking about that little piece of flashing that was off the end of the muzzle here. And I said I probably won't do it on camera, and I got to thinking, well, bet you I can. Now first, let's try and get this one right here. Try not to move it. Try and get right as close to the top of the barrel there as we can. Yeah, that's not going to take too much sanding. Now, this one here is probably going to take 2 goes. Whoops. I guess that's about as close as I can get. Wonder, no, come in this way. Whoops, sorry. I think that probably to get this last little the rest I'm gonna have to do with the fine sanding disc. Either that or just leave it already. I mean, remember, it's very, very small. Not gonna see it. Well, I am going to be cutting today's episode off, and I'm pretty sure I'll be going at this again this evening, and I'll probably video it, especially if I screw up. In other words, I'm probably guaranteed to be videoing it, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.